Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Fox's Biscuit Stadium here in Batley. Today's crucial Kingston Press Championship match between the Batley Bulldogs and the Featherstone Rovers. Quick rundown of the team news for you. First of all, starting with the Bulldogs. At number 22 is Dave Scott. In the three quarters, number 2 is Wayne Retty. Number 3 is Chris Aluja. Number 17 is Joe Chandler. And number 26 is Alex Brown. In the half-backs for Batley, number 6 is Kane Sutherland and number 7 Don Brambani. In the front row, number 8 is Keegan Hurst alongside number 15 James Brown. In between those two, number 20 is Alistair Leake. In the second row is Alex Bretherton and Brad Day. And the loose forward is Adam Gledhill. On the bench for the Bulldogs is James Davey, Tom Lillycrop, Pat Walker, and their danger man off the bench is Alex Rowe. Changes for Rovers this afternoon. At fullback though is number 15, Ian Hardman. In on dual registration from the Rhinos comes number 37, Ashton Golding. He'll be alongside number 3, Michael Channing, number 18, Jamie Cording, and moving out to the wing in place of Jamie Foster goes Missy Talapapa. In the halfbacks, number 6 is Kyle Briggs, 7 Anthony Thackeray. That partnership having arguably their best game for Rovers last week in the victory over Whitehaven. In the front row for Rovers, number 10 Andy Bostock, and number 32 is Jordan Baldwinston. In between those two, number 23 is Andy Ellis. In the second row for Rovers, number 11 is Steve Snitch, number 12 is John Davies, and number 17, starting today but starting at loose forward, is Jack Ormondroyd. On the bench for Rovers, number 8 is Darryl Griffin, 13 is Tim Spears, number 20 Luke Cooper, and number 38 on dual registration from the Rhinos is Anthony Mullally. Today's match referee is Scott Michalauskas. And the first opportunity to say good afternoon, Joanne.
Afternoon, Ben.
Your thoughts on the Rovers team, first of all, please.
Well, obviously, if you're drawn to the dual registration players from Leeds, aren't you, with Ashton Goulding in on the wing, Anthony Mullally on the bench, and wondering how they go. Jamie Foster obviously missing out due to Ashton Goulding being on that wing. Missy Talapapa on the wing as well is an interesting choice, but Batley do have two strong wingers in Wayne Retty and Alex Brown, so I'm guessing that John Sharp is thinking to put a bit of bulk there on the wing. The other thing to look at in the team is Jack Ormondroyd there at loose forward. We saw Colton Roach there in that position last week, and that's an interesting prospect as well. And also we've got forwards bench and no recognised hookers on the bench. There's no Robbie Ward there, so it's a real mix-up of a team really, isn't it, Ben?
It's a massive mix-up indeed, and just looking down this Batley team as well, so many threats in this Batley side. The obvious threats are at the half-back. When we played the Bulldogs down here in the Challenge Cup, the half-back's causing a lot of damage for us in the second half. Out come the Batley Bulldogs. Where do you see the biggest threats in this Batley side?
Well, Don Brambani has been having an absolutely fantastic season since his move from Sheffield for Batley. The other one is the guy on the bench, Patch Walker, has been having a good season as well. And the former Featherstone Rover, Keegan Hurst, we've just been watching him warming up. He's a big lad and he's been making real inroads this season. With the rest of the forwards, in fact, I'd say that the Batley forwards have probably been the difference this season and why they're in the position that they're in.
I fancy that Featherstone Rovers may have won the toss today. Rovers are playing up the slope in the first half, So they will have the slope in the second half. And just how crucial, Joanne, do you think that could be in the outcome of this game?
Well, it's a warm day, isn't it, today? And I think if you did win the toss, you'd certainly want to be playing downhill in that second half. What the aim is now is for us to contain the score in this first half and set us up a platform to play well in the second half. What we should also mention is just as Missy Talapapa takes his place on the field, it's a very blustery day out here at the Mount. We're up on a hill, aren't we, and the wind's blustering and there's no direction it's going in really, so that'll make a very interesting kicking game.
So the Bulldogs get this game underway. It's a Kingston Press Championship, a crucial weekend in the championship as well. Other games of course taking place, Lee against Halifax, Bradford at home to Whitehaven today. But this is where the action is today. It's the Batley Bulldogs against the Featherstone Rovers. Here's Andy Bostock with a drive. Gets Rovers up to the 30-metre line. Ellis. He finds Ormondroyd. An untidy play, the ball, but it's Anthony Thackeray. Puts a kick in. That's a great first step for Featherstone Rovers. A sensible set, really. Just getting a feel for the ball, Joanne. Getting through the set, and then a great kick from Anthony Thackeray, finding touch on that far side. And it's going to be a scrum down head and feed to the Bulldogs on their own 10.
Yeah, Danny Evans just in front of us clapping there. That set of six, it was a great set of six. They took the ball up quickly, they were quick play the balls, some urgency, and then on that last tackle, Thackeray kicked it and it's gone into touch, so Batley are setting the scrum on their own 10 metre. And we're going to have to bring it from there, and we would need some good defence now, don't we?
We do indeed. So the Bulldogs have got head and feed at this scrum on their own 10 metre line. Here they come now, but that's a good first tackle from Rovers. Swarming round the Bulldogs. Alistair Lake moves it out wide to Alex Brown. Here are the Bulldogs then on their own 30, but good defence from Rovers. Bostock and Baldwinson in that tackle. It's forward with the big man there. Here's James Brown. Gets the Bulldogs to their own 40. And now the Bulldogs on halfway. Here's that last tackle. So it's a kick from Bram Barney. How is it? It's a good kick, but perfect positioning from Ian Hardman, who returns that ball well. So good early sets for both teams, but Ian Hardman did really well and his positioning then was perfect.
It was, yeah, it was a good set from Batley too. They've made us bring it away from our own 20 metre line. Ashton Goulding just taking the ball here up to the 40 metre line. Jordan Baldwinson went in, but he's met by two players there. Keegan Hurst, one of them, and Joe Chandler, the other, and they really smacked him, but they've got the ball away now. Thackeray's running away with it, got over the 40 metre line.
So Rovers are inside the Bulldogs 40 then. Here's a kick from Kyle Briggs. That's going to come down with snow on it. Oh, it's a howler! Dave Scott can't take that kick. So Rovers are going to get the first real chance of the match. A towering kick from Kyle Briggs. Came down with snow on it. Dave Scott unable to take it. And what an opportunity here for Rovers.
Well, we were talking before we came on air about the responsibility that Kyle Briggs will have today with the kicking game, and wow, what a kick that was. It was towering. We talked about the blustery wind as well, and it was spinning in that wind, and Dave Scott just couldn't take it at all, and it happened actually, it's a penalty and we're going to kick for goal. I'm guessing that it was an offside, so Dave Scott knocked the ball forward and it was picked up by a Batley player, and the referee, Mr. Mikolauskas, gave the penalty, and Kyle Briggs is going to go for goal under the sticks.
So the ball knocked on by Dave Scott, it was picked up by the Bulldogs from an offside position. Therefore Rovers have a penalty. It's Kyle Briggs who's going to have it. He's under the sticks. Kick sails between the uprights, so Rovers have the early advantage and points on the board early. That's a great way to start, Joanne. It's Batley Bulldogs 0, Featherstone Rovers 2.
When you're playing uphill at the mount, it's important to get any points you can. If you can get up near that try line, whatever points come your way, and that's, I'm guessing, why we'll have gone for that too.
So the Bulldogs restart then. Ashton Golding takes that kick off, and he moves it into Jack Ormondroyd. Here's a drive from Ormondroyd now. Ashton Golding again, getting through a lot of work early. Coming looking for work. They like to see that from your wingers, I have to say. And here are Rovers in the forwards now. It's Steve Snitch. Ellis comes left to Jamie Cording now. On the 40, plays the ball to Andy Ellis. Ellis sees a gap. Almost through. But a good tackle from Brotherton. And there's another kick. This time fielded by Alex Brown, but that's a great chase from Featherstone Rovers. And Rovers, Joanna, started this game superbly. Another great kick, another mistake, but it's gone backwards. And Rovers have got the Bulldogs rocking at the moment.
They have, and that's all what it's about, isn't it? Putting them under pressure and making them just question their ability, and Featherstone are in their faces and just refusing to let up on Batley at the moment.
Here come the Bulldogs then. Another great tackle from Featherstone Rovers. Alistair Leake gets away from two, but can't get away in the next tackle. That's a cruncher of a tackle as well. And there's a kick this time from Southernwood. Talapapa comes across, he will field it in his own 20. That's a great return as well from Talapapa, makes 15 metres. Quick play of the ball, here's Jamie Cording now. And there's a penalty for offside. This has been an almost perfect opening for Featherstone Rovers.
Yeah, that came all from that quick play of the ball. Keegan Nurse caught offside there as Jamie Cording took the ball in. So it's on the halfway line. Kelby's going to kick the ball to touch. And he does so the tap is going to be 25 metres away from the Batley line.
So Rovers with another opportunity then, Cording with that tap. Here goes Steve Snitch even. Rovers into 20s, 5 tackles left in this set. Jordan Baldwinson, that's a great drive. Rovers 10 out under the sticks. Ellis goes right. Finds Briggs. Briggs to John Davies, almost through. Tackle completed at the second attempt. Rovers are inches away. And they're over! It's over! It's Andy Bostock marching over from first receiver just to the right of the uprights. And what a start for Featherstone Rovers. It's been all Rovers in these opening stages. And a great try from Bostock from first receiver. His first try of the season. And it's Batley Bulldogs 0, Featherstone Rovers 6, with a kick to come.
What a fantastic start this is for Featherstone Rovers. Putting the pressure on Batley, it's been incessant since the kick-off, and that came from the penalty for offside. We took the tap 25 metres out, went up with our forwards, and eventually Andy Bostock went on a barnstorming run, spun and took the flat pass, spun in the tackle and went over just to the right of the uprights, and Cal Biggs should add these extras.
So this again, just about a metre to the right of the uprights, 10 metres out. Here comes the kick. The flags do go up, so a perfect start for the Rovers. Batley Bulldogs 0, Featherstone Rovers 8. And we've had about 10 minutes of the match. And don't forget, folks, this is playing up the slope.
Blocking the entrance to the car park, registration DX57NUW, DX57.
We've not seen anything of the Bulldogs in an attacking sense yet. A change of kick-off, taken this time by Hardman, and here comes Jordan Baldwinson. And Rovers again, bringing the ball out from their own area. Look at the aggression with which Rovers are running this ball in. Steve Snitch on that occasion now. Jack Ormondroyd has a drive. Ellis finds Thackeray, it's a forward pass, so disappointing for Rovers on that occasion. The pass just delayed a little bit too long. So we're finally going to get a chance to see the Bulldogs in an attacking sense.
Yeah, it's been the first error of the game by Featherstone Rovers. Just that pass going forward, like you say, delayed it just a little bit too long. Referee wants the scrum resetting. Batley got the ball, but he's wanting the scrum to be reset. So he's obviously quite keen on a nice scrum, is this referee. Brambani puts the ball in. It goes to Joe Chandler, but he's met by a row of Featherstone Rovers tacklers, and Batley are 30 metres out. 40 metres out, sorry.
So here are the Bulldogs then. Now the 30 out. Driving that ball in is James Brown. Caused so much damage going down that slope in the Challenge Cup match, of course. Keegan Hurst plays the ball now. The ball's worked out Southernwood. The Bulldogs are a metre short. An untidy play, the ball is penalised. Disappointment for Rovers there. So the Bulldogs are going to get a full set on the Rovers line here. Here's that first drive in from James Brown again. Oh, that's backwards. Brambani finds Southernwood. Kyle Briggs wraps Southernwood up. That's superb defence from Kyle Briggs. Ball's worked out left again with Brown. Moves that ball in field. Leak is met though by Bostock and Andy Ellis and Baldwinson. Ball goes left again. James Brown gets the ball away to Southernwood. Rovers defending stoutly at the moment. Through the hands it goes. That's awful on the bounce. Rovers defending superbly at the moment. Here's the last, it's Brambani. It's taken in the air. I fancied you, I thought he was tackled in the air. Referee's given a dropout. Rovers have got a player down on that far side. The clock is stopped. It's John Davis. For me, Joanne, I thought it was tackled in the air. But if Rovers can survive this, strong attacking effort from the Bulldogs, as much as the points they've got on the board, this will give them a lot of confidence.
Well, yeah, they were defending that set of six really well, weren't they? And Batley were doing a few stray passes and just getting away with it. And Brambani put the kick in on that last tackle, and John Davis was taking it in the in-goal area, but he got clattered. Couldn't quite see from where we are whether he'd actually landed on the floor or not. It was a split-second decision. The referee's given it that it's a dropout because Davis actually dropped the ball when he got clattered behind the goal line. So it's going to be a dropout. Kyle Briggs is going to take it. And Brambani takes it up on the 40-metre line, passes it to Keegan Hurst. It looked a bit of a flat pass at the best, that, didn't it, Ben?
Certainly looked suspiciously forward, shall we say. Here's James Brown, though. Here's Alistair Leake from the acting halfback. Gets a good scoot away. James Brown waits. Moves it left to Brambani to Southernwood. Dave Scott. Great defence from the Rovers again. Swarming round. That ball's worked out to that Chris Aluja. Rovers defending, just able to stay in the field of play, Chris Aluja. Here's Brambani again. Kick comes right this time. Missy Talapapa takes that. A great take from Talapapa, an untidy play of the ball though. And Rovers survive, and Joanne, Rovers have started this game really well, and that's 2 great defensive efforts.
Certainly is. Well, 3 really, because we got the penalty against us, didn't we, down there on that try line? So it were almost like 3 full sets of 6 we've had to defend there as Steve Snitch just takes the ball up there. And they've done well. They're bringing it away now, and we're up to our own 40 metres. Thackeray puts the kick in. It gets touched by a Batley player, and Bostock's racing after it, and they've knocked on at Batley. Batley have knocked on their own 40-metre line. So that was, in the end, a great kick by Thackeray. It got touched by a Batley player, and they couldn't take it, couldn't Batley, and the scrum will take place on their own 40-metre line. So Featherstone will get another set of 6 here.
The kick was charged down, a great effort from the Bulldogs to charge it down, but the Batley player just wasn't able to pick it up. So Rovers are going to get a scrum down, head and feed on the Bulldogs 40. Chance to post some more points.
I was just going to say, Ben, as well, full credit to Bostock for chasing that ball down.
Definitely, it's a great charge down by Bostock. And here's Talapapa now. Rovers up to the 30. Baldwinson, he's had a great start to this match as well. Rovers 20 out, centre field now. Comes left with Thackeray, finds Snitch. But good defence from the Bulldogs on that occasion. Thackeray again out to Briggs. Briggs finds Hardman to Channing. Golding from Acton halfback finds Briggs, he gets away from one, dinks one through, it's picked up by Alex Brown. Rovers not able to score, but look where the Bulldogs are, and if Rovers can keep the discipline, they're going to have a great chance from their next set.
Yeah, Briggs did well on the last there. He got the ball. Batley were up in his face quickly. He evaded them and got that little dink of a kick through. And although Batley retrieved it, what a great place it was for Batley to be bringing that ball away. And the Featherstone defence is tenacious at the moment.
Outstanding defence from the Rovers. The Bulldogs haven't even made it up to their own 20 yet. Forced a kick from inside their own 20. Oh, that's a fantastic kick. It's not a 40-20 though. Almost was, but it is going to be head and feed to Rovers. They found touch just the right side of the flag. What a kick that was from the Bulldogs to clear the lines. But a great defensive effort from Rovers.
Oh, it was a fantastic defensive effort. I called them tenacious. They certainly were. They weren't letting Batley get up at all. However, that was a fantastic kick. I mean, even though it didn't make it a 40-20, it's penned Featherstone back down to their own 20-metre line, and we're going to have to bring it back up the hill from there. So in terms of effectiveness, that was a great kick, was that?
So here come Rovers, are going down that short side. An untidy play of the ball. Here's Andy Bostock. Armandroyd now. Don't forget, of course, Rovers playing up the slope in this first half. That ball's been lost. There's a penalty. So Rovers get a penalty from just inside their own half. A steal in the tackle. Briggs, I think, I'm not sure if he's going left or right. I think he's going to go right, he is. So Rovers starting 35 metres out from that Bulldogs line. Over on that far side of the field. Channing takes that tap. Gets Rovers into the 30 now. Ellis finds Bostock. Rovers 20 out now. Thackeray shows and goings himself, but great defence there from the Bulldogs. Armandroyd looked to be, I'm not sure that wasn't a trip. That looked to be a trip from where I was. Armandroyd stayed down. Time is called off. I'm not so sure about that tackle, Joanne. To me, it looked a bit like a trip.
It was a difficult one to call. I'm not sure if it was a collision because the Batley player was tackling Andy Ellis at the time, who just laid that pass off to Jack Ormonroy. The physio says that he's fine, but it certainly did knock him quite hard on his leg, and he fell to the floor heavily. But I think he's getting up now. Rovers crowd think it was a trip as well, but I'm not too sure myself. I thought it was more of a collision.
Referee there speaking to Keegan Hurst. And also to Alex Bretherton. Ormonroy is okay, so time is back on. Here's Briggs now. Bostock on the charge, he's already got one try. Offloads it, Davis picks up. Oh, it's an intercept. But what's it? Ashton Golding, superb defence from Golding there. To read that play, to get back to make the tackle. And credit to Ashton Golding there. That was almost won't say try saver, but not far off it.
Thing is though, Ben, we don't need to be doing things like that. It's a little bit panicky. The pass from Bostock wasn't brilliant, and then John Davis just didn't need to lay that ball off there. We need to be playing sensibly. We're playing up the hill. We just need to be keeping Batley scoreless, and giving possession away is not the way to do it.
Here are the Bulldogs, and on the last tackle, Leak from Axon half finds Brambani. He'll put the kick across field. It's taken and knocked on. It's knocked on there by Alex Brown. If Alex Brown had taken that kick, he was in, but not able to hold that ball, so it's on the last tackle. It is a turnover, and Rovers survive.
They do. I think Channing had got to him. I'm not sure on that with that take. He was there, but whatever, he knocked the ball forward, and we've got Missy Teller-Papa bringing it up in the middle of the field at the minute, our extra forward.
So Rovers then. Cording. Zachary finds Bostock. Offloads again. Every tackle Bostock is looking to offload. And sometimes, Joanne, he just needs to hold on. There's another kick charge down by Keegan Hurst. What's the referee? Wipe the tackle count clean. Teller-Papa's away from one. Great play from Teller-Papa. Rovers are going to get another set. There's a penalty. Interference at the play of the ball. Bulldog fans around us not happy. But Rovers are going to get another relieving penalty.
Yeah, well, Missy Teller-Papa there was wanting that quick play of the ball. He codded the ref a little bit, I feel, by putting the ball down on the floor and emphasising the fact that Batley weren't releasing him in the ruck straight away. So Featherstone have got that penalty. The ball hasn't gone that far. We're going to take it up. Jamie Cording takes it up over the 40-metre line. So we're about 35 metres away from the Batley line at the moment. Baldwinson takes it in up to 30 metres. He's dumped to the ground there. Plays the ball to Andy Ellis. Andy Ellis over to the left to Anthony Thackeray. Short ball to Steve Snitch. If he could have got the ball away to Cording, it could have been exciting there.
Thackeray does find Cording now, slips as he tries to come in field. He's hurt himself. I think he may have gone over on his ankle by the looks of it. That, or his knee, sorry, it doesn't look good anyway. The physio is straight on. Cording tried to cut inside and went to ground, and the minute he went to ground, Joanne, you knew straight away there was something wrong, and it does look to be his knee.
Absolutely nobody on him, was there, Ben? And yeah, he's going to have to come off his Jamie. He's in a lot of pain out there. You can see his face, and not sure exactly what it is that's wrong with him. It looks like his left knee, some kind of ligament damage. It's not good news, though, by the first initial looks of this, and he's going to have to leave the field, and that's desperately sad news for Jamie and for Featherstone Rovers.
Keegan Hurst has also come off for the Bulldogs. The signal has come for an interchange, so Darryl Griffin looks to be stripped off, ready to come on. So once again, Rovers, I think, are going to have to shuffle the pack here a bit. Jamie Cording obviously is playing in the centre. Is not able to continue. He's going to be helped off. It's actually Tim Spears who's coming on. So what's the change? Joanne will keep her eyes open, try and work out what Rovers have to do to reshuffle a bit here. Here's Tim Spears now though. We're going to see Darryl Griffin in a moment as well. Thackeray drills the ball into touch. So it's going to be scrum down, head and feed to the Bulldogs on their own 10. Cording, it does not look good at all. Right in front of us. Darryl Griffin is going to come on any moment. Here are the Bulldogs though. They need something soon to Batley, because Rovers at the moment have been in more or less complete control. But great defence. So the Bulldogs on their own 40 now. That's a good drive in from Brad Day. Ball goes left. Southernwood's kick over the top towards the upright, hits the upright. That's a great kick, and Hardman does so well to get away. Great play from Ian Hardman there. Here's Ashton Golding. Here's Steve Stitch now. Jack Ormondroyd's come off for Rovers, and Darryl Griffin's come on. Here is Griffin now. Here's Kyle Briggs. That's a great kick over the top. Scott, oh! Scott and Alex Brown almost made a complete hash to that one. That ball's been lost. Oh, it's penalised Rovers. Tim Spears asking the question of the referee. There's a quick penalty from Bram Barney. The Bulldogs starting on their own 40, Joanne.
Yeah, the ball came out loose there. The referee didn't have a clue what had happened. He consulted his touch judges and they decided to give a penalty. So Batley in a promising position here, and it looks as though Anthony Mullally will be the next Featherstone substitution to enter the field.
Pat Walker's just come on for the Bulldogs, and it's Adam Gledhill who's come off. Here's Southernwood. Well played by Kyle Briggs, wraps him up superbly. Here are the Bulldogs, and the ball's worked wide. Here's Bram Barney. That's great defence though from Featherstone Rovers. That's a good kick through Hardman again. Great positional play from Ian Hardman. He reads the game so well, doesn't he, Joanne?
Mr. Dependable, isn't he, at the back there? I don't want to put the mockers on him by saying that, but he certainly is. You know, he's not sure that was a penalty. Was that Missy Telepapa again, Ben?
No, it was actually Andy Ellis trying to play the ball. Picked the ball up from acting half-back. Knew there was a Batley player in the ruck and threw it straight at the Batley player, giving Mr. Mikolauskas no option but to give the penalty.
There's a little bit of old manning going on in there this afternoon, but you know, it's good that we're doing this, you know. So as Baldwinson leaves the field and Anthony Mullally has replaced him. So it's Leeds dual reg for Leeds dual reg, even though Baldy is a Fev lad, we all say, don't we?
That he is. Here goes Tim Spears now. No. Referee says there's 2 balls on the field. You can start again. It looks to me, Joanne, like Steve Snitch has gone into the centre. So obviously Jamie Cording, after that injury, had to come off. So Steve Snitch, at least for the moment, is in that centre. Here's Rovers on halfway. Ellis finds Briggs. Here's Davies now. Ellis again. Here's Bostock. Offloads this time. That's the better one. Griffin shows the ball. It opened up for him. He finds Ian Hardman in support. Thackeray puts a kick over the top for Talapapa. Just can't take the ball. Talapapa just couldn't reel it in. That was superb play again though from Featherstone Rovers on that last tackle. It is the turnover, but Joanne, Rovers look high on confidence at the minute.
They do, and I was wondering what effect the changes that we've just had. We've got all 4 substitutes on the field now, haven't we? 3 substitutes on the field. I was just wondering what those 3 changes would have had. 1 unforced, 2 by choice. And at the minute, we're looking like we're the same team that's been playing this first 25 minutes and looking good for our money.
Here are the Bulldogs. Here's Alex Rowe. This man can cause a lot of problems for the Bulldogs. Alistair Leach there with no idea what he was doing. Here's the last tackle. So a tackle wasted there for the Bulldogs. That's high from Brambani. Oh, Rovers make a hash of that one. That tackle count is white clean. Talapapa and Hardman making a mess of it. Here's Brown on that far side. Comes to Joanne in a minute, trying to follow the play. Here are Bulldogs over in that far corner. Rovers hanging around, resolutely defending at the minute. There's a penalty though. Not letting go. How it can be holding down when I stood up, I'm not sure, but nonetheless, the penalty given. The Bulldogs are going to get another 6 on this Rovers line. They need a try. Here's Tom Lillycrop now. Alex Rowe. Rovers defence hanging firm at the moment. Here's Southernwood. Great defence from Rovers. Anthony Mullally it was. Walker now. Brotherton. Look at this defence from Rovers. Tim Spears on that occasion. Touch judge is on, is he? The touch judge on the far side has seen something. What's he going to give here? Looking for a Featherstone player. It's Tim Spears, he's the captain. And something's being given here. Another penalty for the Bulldogs, Joanne.
That touch judge must have excellent vision. He definitely has gone to Specsavers. He's come right across the field, but Batley again with another set of 6 on the Rovers line.
They need a try, but this Rovers defence at the minute is so resolute. The Bulldogs are struggling to get through. Alex Rowe on the charge, but again, Rovers hold out. Southernwood to Brambani, met by Tim Spears. Great defence from Rovers. This is fantastic. Here's Dave Scott. It's the last tackle. Brambani's going himself. Outstanding defence from Featherstone Rovers. The Bulldogs had a full set in the Rovers 10. The Bulldogs are not able to get over and Joanne, but Featherstone at the minute are in complete control.
Well, I mean, that was a fantastic bit of defending there from Featherstone Rovers, wasn't it? To have 2 sets of 6 after that penalty was given, which was a bit of a strange one, Tim Spears an infringement, but to do 2 full sets of 6 on your own line against Batley with their big forwards, that is immense really. And we're bringing it away now as Anthony Mullally brings that ball up, evades a few Batley players. Andy Ellis, acting half, goes to John Davis. John Davis gets the ball away. Andy Bostock through the middle. Andy Bostock through the middle. He's made it up to the 10-metre line. He gets the ball away. Not the best pass. Andy Bostock should have just held on to the ball there. What a brilliant run up the middle of the field he did, but he decided to offload over Ashton Golding's head and the ball's dribbled into touch, I'm afraid, and perhaps the wrong choice, but the play up to that was absolutely amazing.
Superb break from Andy Bostock up the middle. Doesn't need to offload, take the tackle. Rovers with tackles in the bag. The Bulldogs defence stretched. Take the tackle, a quick play of the ball. Yeah, if it had come off, it was brilliant. And Rovers would have been in the corner, would have all been praising the offload. But the Rovers fans are in fine voice away to our left, loving every minute of this. The Bulldogs, though, they've got to come the full length again. Look at great defence from Rovers again. Griffin, snitch in that tackle. Retty comes in for some action. Look at that defence again from Rovers. Davis with that tackle. Bulldogs just shy of their own 40 now. Here's Alex Rowe. On the last tackle, the Bulldogs still inside their own half. Southernwood puts that ball in the air. This time it's misses. He's let it bounce. What are you doing, Missy Talapapa? Fortunately for Rovers, it was on the last tackle and defenders were able to get back to make that tackle. Missy Talapapa showing there is not a winner though, Joanne.
Oh gosh, Ben. Didn't look confident at all, did he, with that one? He weren't interested. He was going to let it bounce. Don't let that rugby ball bounce. It went all over the place there. And Tom Lillicrop gratefully caught it, but thankfully Ian Hardman was there to mop up after that mistake and make the tackle almost half time. And I was just thinking, you know, get this set of 6 in, bring it up. Maybe we've got a couple more plays before half time. Andy Ellis goes up the field, passes it to Missy Talapapa, tries to play the ball quickly, it doesn't happen, goes to Thackeray, goes to Griffin, Briggs to Spears. Spears taking the tackle. Wayne Retty looked to have a little bit of a smack in his face there on Tim Spears, but the referee didn't pull it up. It's the last tackle now. Featherstone 35 metres away from the Batley line. They've done well to bring it so far out the field. Briggs kicks for touch, and I think that Alex Brown might have touched that with his foot, I'm not sure.
It's been touched! It's been touched by Alex Brown, it was. Rovers are getting head and feet at this scrum on the Bulldogs 10-metre line. Oh, what a mistake from Alex Brown that was. Tried to trap the ball, just couldn't take it in. Rovers are going to get a full set on the Bulldogs line.
Well, yeah, it was a great kick from Kyle Briggs. He put some force behind it. He was drilling it to touch, and Alex Brown just stuck his foot out. I don't think he could resist it, and it cannoned off his foot into touch. So we've got Ian Hardman taking it up 10 metres away from the Rovers line.
Tackled 8 metres away. Another untidy play, the ball. Bostock going for the line again. Inches. He's held up. Andy Bostock's held up over the line. He's already got one try this afternoon. He wants another. Ellis goes himself. Bostock again. Rovers a metre away. Ellis, Briggs, Thackeray now. Gets away from one. Hardman. Snitch sees a gap. Offloads to Ellis. Spears to Briggs. Out to Davis. Finds Channing. Ashton Golding! He's over! Is he? No. No, he's not. I thought for a minute he'd got that ball down. It's on the last tackle. It's a turnover, Joanne. What an excellent effort from Featherstone Rovers.
Just the fact that we're up at this end of the field, I mean, it's been a great first half from Featherstone Rovers, hasn't it? And it's these boys have just played out of the skin all half as Lillycrop brings it up now for Batley. And it's been an amazing performance from Featherstone Rovers in this first half, and to go so close to getting another try there would have just been the cherry on the cake. And that is a mistake by Batley. It's a free play. Andy Bostock putting a kick in there, going for the free play, but the scrum will be brought back onto the 30-metre line, so Featherstone will have this scrum 30 metres away from the try line.
A few hearts in mouth from the Rovers fans around us, as was it Andrew Bostock, of all people, putting in a chip over the top. It was on the free play. He's asking, well, why not? It could have come off, but it didn't, so we're going to see Luke Cooper in a minute by the looks of it. The scrum is just waiting to be set. We've got to be close to the end of the half now. We did have a stoppage earlier on in the half for an injury to Jamie Cording. Off comes Andy Bostock. He has put in a monumental effort in this first half as Andy Bostock. That ball's come loose, it's a penalty. The call comes out too. Everybody in the stand around us. Anthony Thackeray said, do I take two? Everybody in the stand around us said, yeah, take the two. Kyle Briggs is going to take the two. If this goes over, Rovers will have 10 unanswered points going up the slope here at Batley in the first half. Just while he takes this penalty, he kicked a penalty to get the scoreboard moving after 7 minutes. 3 minutes later, Bostock went over from first receiver just to the right of the sticks for his first try of the season. Converted again by Kyle Briggs to make it 8-0. Rovers have lost Jamie Cording as well to what looks a very bad knee injury. And Kyle Briggs now with a penalty right on halfway. Sorry, it's actually on the 20, sorry. Straight between the sticks it goes. It's now Batley Bulldogs 0, Featherstone Rovers 10. We must be in the dying embers of this first half now.
When it comes to the Rovers number 6, Kyle Briggs. Rovers 10.
A short kick-off from the Bulldogs. Taken by Rovers, and Rovers are away. It's Kyle Briggs. Briggs has got Golding outside him. What a break from Kyle Briggs. Golding tackled into touch, just shy of the 30. Rovers want more points, Joanne.
I don't blame him neither. That was a great take by Kyle Briggs. Short kick-off from Batley. Can't blame them for doing that, but Kyle Briggs took that ball. He leapt into the air like a gazelle, took it, ran up the field, and Ashton Goulding, the speedster, was there on his outside to take the ball. Unfortunately, he got tackled into touch, so the scrum will be put down 30 metres away from the Batley line. Luke Cooper making the tackle, the first tackle from the scrum with Tim Spears there. Goes for Brambani out. Nearly an interception there from Kyle Briggs. He's wanting plenty there. The pass from Brambani to Southernwood was a little bit of a strange one.
Tackle cat hasn't been wiped clean. Here's the last play. Long pass out wide. Brotherton. He'll put a kick in for Retty to chase. Ever reliable Ian Hardman takes the ball, runs the ball into touch. What a first half performance from Featherstone Rovers this has been. Absolutely outstanding effort. Every man on that field. Featherstone Rovers playing up the slope in the first half. Not only have they scored points, they've kept the Bulldogs to 0 for 40 minutes. 1 try from Andy Bostock, 3 goals from Kyle Briggs. Joanne, what a first half from Featherstone Rovers.
Well, that must be one of the performances of the season, one of the halves of the season anyway. The amount of effort that those players have put in. Who says these players don't care? They certainly do. They want that top 4.
Standout performances in the first half for you?
Kyle Briggs, for me, I mean all of them, to be honest. Kyle Briggs for me. Andy Bostock had an absolutely amazing first half. He's been running strong, tackling strong, but you can't really pick any standout players, to be honest. You can only pick those that do things like the kicks. But Ian Hardman as well. But all the defending on our line that we've been doing, you can't really say anybody's been better than the other because it's been a real true team effort.
It has indeed. Don't forget, of course, Rovers have been playing up the slope in that first half as well. And that, for me, Joanne, makes it even more impressive. 1, to keep the Bulldogs, 1, to score the points, but 2, to keep the Bulldogs to 0 when the Bulldogs coming down the slope. That's been a monumental effort, hasn't it?
Well, they always say that this slope is worth 10 points in itself, don't they, at this ground. So it'll be interesting to see. We don't want to rest on our laurels, though, thinking that we are going down the slope and taking it easy. And what we've got to remember, we're a man down. Jamie Cordin very sadly had to leave the field. He's managed to walk across to the changing rooms. It's over the other side of the field here at Batley at the Mount. So he has managed to walk, although it be a bit of a hobble. So that was good to see. He's able to put his weight on it, but he certainly won't be returning today.
So that's the only downside here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. Other than that, a perfect 40 minutes for Featherstone Rovers. It's half time here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. Batley Bulldogs 0, Featherstone Rovers 10. Welcome back to the second half here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium in Batley. Batley Bulldogs 0, Featherstone Rovers 10 is that half-time score. An almost perfect 40 minutes it was for Rovers in that first half. And Rovers, of course, now are playing down the hill in the second half. So hopefully plenty more points to come. Other scores are at the moment, with the exception of Bradford, who are winning comfortably at home to Whitehaven. But other scores, Halifax result today is certainly going Featherstone's way. They're losing quite heavily at least, so Joanna, massive 40 minutes this for Rovers.
Certainly is, as Kyle Briggs takes that, kicks off there, and Alex Rowe brings it in, but is met by a wall of blue and white there with Daryl Griffin and Anthony Mullally in the tackle. And the next tackle up, they've not gone very far, haven't Batley there, and they're struggling to get out of their own half here again. So hopefully the ball has been, as I said that, the ball has been offloaded, and Southernwood brings it away a little bit, but still they're only up to their own 40. And what we'll be looking at, what a tackle from Luke Cooper that was an amazing tackle from Luke Cooper on Patch Walker. That's what you want at the beginning of a half, isn't it?
That was a real cruncher. I felt that tackle from here. There's a kick over the top from the Bulldogs. Ian Hardman. It bounced a couple of times, and Ian Hardman will now return. Rovers, of course, playing downhill in the second half with a 10-0 lead. Here's Ashton Golding. And I think it's fair to say, Joanne, the first score in this second half is crucial.
Certainly is, and the way that the teams come out in that second half is crucial as well. Missy Talapapa taking it up the field now, so the wingers just giving the forwards a little bit of a rest, and it's good to have that extra chink, that extra bit in your armour, isn't it, to be able to bring those wingers in as forwards to bring the ball up the field. Luke Cooper taking it up now. Featherstone just over the Batley 40-metre line. On the last, Thackeray puts the kick in. It's a high one, Talapapa's chasing it, it's bounced. Talapapa's back, Kyle Briggs jumps on it. That, I think, is a try. What a brilliant try. Great play by Missy Talapapa to chase that kick down. Great kick from Anthony Thackeray, but he had the presence of mind to pat the ball back. Kyle Briggs was chasing it and he's pounced on that ball, so first early score in the second half to Featherstone Rovers.
What a absolutely outstanding effort from Missy Talapapa to chase that kick down. A huge kick it was from Kyle Briggs. The ball bounced towards the goal area. Missy Talapapa chased it, knew he couldn't get the ball to ground it, so had the presence of mind to pat the ball back in goal. Kyle Briggs there chased it, dropped on the ball. And we're barely 5 minutes into the second half, and Rovers are already over. So Kyle Briggs' show at the moment, 3 conversions in the first half. Now a try. John Davis in discussion with Danny Evans on the touchline below us as Kyle Briggs lines up this conversion. Here we go, left-footed kicker. Straight between the uprights it goes. So Rovers with a perfect start to the second half. It's Batley Bulldogs 0, Featherstone Rovers 16. Joanne.
Well, that was it just sums up the effort that Featherstone have been putting in this afternoon. That kick from Thackeray was 35 metres out. It was a towering kick. Talapapa chased it down. This wind is causing probably problems, you know. Dave Scott lost it, he let it bounce as Ashton Golding takes the kick off safely there. And Talapapa, he was going out dead, and he managed to pat that ball back to Kyle Briggs, who gratefully pounced on it and scored. So that was a great start. Steve Snitch takes it over the Featherstone 40-metre line. It goes to Anthony Mullally. Tall, rangy forward from Leeds. Batley could have been penalised there for having a second go in the tackle. Hardman now plays the ball to Andy Ellis, who scoots himself, goes from acting half-back and makes the full 10 metres. It's the last tackle now, 20 metres out of Featherstone. Thackeray again with the kick. Goes over the top, John Davis chasing it, but this time Alex Brown takes it well, but he's going to have to bring it out from underneath his own posts.
Another great set from Featherstone Rovers. The Bulldogs having to defend that set, and defend it they did well, but they're now having to come from deep, and if Rovers can keep the discipline here and maintain this momentum, this could end up to be a massive boost for Featherstone Rovers. Here's Alex Brown. Batley are still in their own 20 here. It's a good drive though from Lillicrop. Actually gets them out now. Sutherland forced to kick from deep. Talapapa comes across. Picks it up safely. There's loads of room to run into. It's a good return as well. He's got the ball away to Thackeray somehow. And Rovers are starting a couple of metres shy of halfway. Hardman now to Talapapa again. 2 drives out of 3 for Talapapa. Great defence though from the Bulldogs. Darryl Griffin now. Briggs to Davies. Steps inside 2. Davies is away. Davies has got to board. Ian Hardman. Ian Hardman is over now. Under the sticks. Oh my word. This is absolutely outstanding from Featherstone Rovers. Superb play. Kyle Briggs swung the pass out to the right. Davis took it, ducked under 1, ducked under 2, got the breakaway. Ian Hardman in support, under the sticks, and Rovers are running riot. It's Batley Bulldogs 0, Featherstone Rovers 20, with a conversion to come, Joanne.
I'm shaking, Ben. The adrenaline's getting to me. John Davis there evaded the Batley defensive line. How strong was he to keep his feet? I thought we might not have anything there because Missy Talapapa was actually taken out in back play, but Mr. Reliable, Mr. Dependable Ian Hardman was there on John Davis's left shoulder to take that ball, and he scampered away under the post, so a fairly easy conversion for Kyle Briggs to come. So we've got looking like 22 points on the board, Ben.
This is exceptional. Who would have thought at 3 o'clock this afternoon that Rovers would be in the position that they are now? A lot of fans will have come in here thinking positively, thinking Rovers can win this game, Joanne. But as Kyle Briggs does convert, a lot of fans will be going into this thinking it'll be a really tight, really close game, nip and tuck all the way. But Featherstone Rovers today have just simply blown Batley Bulldogs out of the water, haven't they?
So far, yes. The game isn't over. We must remind everybody of that. But to have a 22 points advantage at this stage of the game is very good indeed. But we needn't get overexcited. Whoa, and that's a kick-off and it's bounced. Missy Talapapa gratefully gets it, nearly gets his head taken off in the process. But yeah, Ashton Golding and Ian Hardman both coming for the ball there, and again, it's tricky to take is this high ball in this wind today. I think there's a lot of misjudging going on. We've seen it on both sides, haven't we?
Indeed we have, but here come Rovers now, just shy of halfway. Darryl Griffin. What a run from Griffin, gets Rovers up to the Bulldogs 40. Ellis now comes right again, Briggs He shows and goes. Cooper's inside. Cooper, Luke Cooper gets the ball away to Thackeray. Thackeray to Griffin. Davis is Ashton Golding. Ashton Golding is in the corner for Featherstone Rovers. It was a break from Luke Cooper. The ball ended up coming infield. Thackeray with the change of direction. It swung out wide. It swung out wide to Ashton Golding, who had a clear line into the corner. Featherstone Rovers stretch out even further. It's Batley Bulldogs 0. Featherstone Rovers 26. And I'm losing my voice, Joanne.
Well, I can't keep up with the tweets, Ben. I'm trying to commentate here, tweet and write the scores down, and I'm just like losing it here, but in a good way. I don't mind. So apologise on Rovers Radio Twitter if people are following that, because I can't keep up at the moment. But that was, again, some amazing long-range tries. This is the performance we've been waiting for all season, isn't it?
This has been absolutely outstanding. And Batley's response to this is to bring back Keegan Hurst and Adam Gledhill. Kyle Briggs with his most difficult conversion of the afternoon to date. Tight to this near touchline. Here comes the kick. Oh, what a conversion! That is absolutely sensational stuff. Off from the Bulldogs. Off comes Alex Rowe. And I think the Bulldogs, Joanna, bringing off Kane Southernwood, I think, who looks to be injured, looks to be limping. They brought Kane Southernwood off. It's a bit of a strange decision for mine. There's the kick-off, Ian Hardman takes it. I'm going to let Joanne catch up on Twitter, so here's Ashton Golding now. Rovers with a 28-0 lead here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. Here's Steve Snitch. Thackeray. Anthony Mullally. Thackeray now. Spears. Thackeray is going to put the ball in the air again. Who wants this one? Nobody! Channing! Michael Channing! It's over again for Featherstone Rovers! Again, the kick in the air. Nobody wanted it. The Bulldogs let the ball bounce. Michael Channing picks up the ball, strolls over the line, 15 metres to the right of the uprights. The Rovers fans away to our right think this is a bit easy at the minute. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium in Batley. It's Batley Bulldogs 0, Featherstone Rovers 32. Joanne.
It's these kicks, isn't it? I mean, well, it isn't just these kicks. It's the absolute whole team performance. But these kicks, playing this weather perfectly at Featherstone Rovers. Anthony Thackeray, it had snow on it, did that, or certainly a bit of cloud. It came down. The ball were bouncing all over. Michael Channing went, I'll have that, thank you very much. Scooted over the line and high-fived about 10 Featherstone Rovers fans behind the sticks there on his way round as well.
Absolutely sensational stuff, folks, here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. Where has this performance come from? Rovers, over the last away match for the Rovers, such a disappointment at Sheffield. back to winning ways last week at home to Workington. But today, Featherstone Rovers have simply blown Batley Bulldogs away. Kyle Briggs converts. Batley Bulldogs 0, Featherstone Rovers 34. And we've still got what? 25 minutes left? This is going to be absolutely huge for Rovers. Think of the boost this will do to our points difference. For Featherstone Rovers, the kick-off is deeper. Ian Hardman takes it. Here goes Darryl Griffin now. Talapapa. Are you caught up, Joanne? Here goes Anthony Mullally. What a first 15 minutes Rovers have had to this second half, though.
I don't know about Rovers players, I'm breathless, Ben. It's like been absolutely amazing. And this guy with the ball now, since he came on just before half-time, Luke Cooper, he's waited a long time, hasn't he, on those sidelines. But when he comes into this Featherstone side, he just looks full of energy. And that's Mullally driving it and gets the ball away to Ellis, who passes it out to Briggs. Briggs kicks it through for Golding. Golding chases it. It goes dead in goal. Oh no, it's gone in touch, sorry. So that will be a scrum to Featherstone Rovers, 10 metres away from the Batley line as the Batley player was, I think it was Dave Scott, was it, got tackled into touch.
Another great kick from Rovers there. Kyle Briggs, I think it was on that occasion. Kyle Briggs, it was on that occasion with the kick. It was picked up by the Bulldogs, but great work from Rovers in defence, tackling into touch. Here's Thackeray now. Steve Snitch wants to turn. Thackeray again, shows a dummy, goes himself. But Featherstone have lost the ball in that tackle. So Anthony Thackeray loses that ball. And it is going to be a scrum down head and feed to the Bulldogs. Disappointing, but we can't score off every time, can we?
I know we've been spoilt, haven't we? And that's the first error by Featherstone Rovers this half, isn't it? And Batley have got that scrum on the 10 metre, and they'll be glad of a bit of possession, I think, this second half, won't they, Ben?
It's what Rovers have done so well at the start of this second half, and there's a penalty conceded. But what Rovers have done really well, what's been really impressive, is and they've not found touch. Batley Bulldogs have not found touch. And that just about sums up the way this half has gone for them. But one of the things I was just saying Rovers have done so well, Joanne, is the way they're starving the Bulldogs of possession. And here they are again. Briggs finds Hardman. Hardman takes that tackle. It's another penalty for Rovers. Davis is going to take this tap. Briggs. Here's Anthony Mullally. He's been impressive since he came on. Thackeray. Here's Tim Spears. That ball's come loose, so it's been lost in the tackle. A one-on-one steal it was, in fact, so great work from the Bulldogs. They just need a bit of possession, but like I was saying, Joanne, Rovers have done such a good job at the start of this second half of starving the Bulldogs of that.
They haven't had any, have they, at all? They've had absolutely nothing this second half, haven't Batley? And I think the possession percentage must be about 80% Featherstone, 20% Batley, if that, really, if you were a stats person.
So here are the Bulldogs. That's good defence from Rovers. They will want this nil at full time. And here are Batley then on the last tackle. They're still inside their own half. So a dink over the top from Bram Barney. It's able to pick up, though it's the last tackle. The ball's lost. Here are Rovers on a free play. Channing finds Ashton Golding. Golding almost away. A very slow play of the ball. Brad Day there hanging on in that tackle. Jordan Baldwinson and Jack Ormondroyd are back on for Rovers. Off come Darryl Griffin and Anthony Mullally. Rovers have got a penalty in the tackle for holding down. Rovers fans around us. Huge rounds of applause for Anthony Mullally and Darryl Griffin. Michael Channing says, referee says, no, you're going to take that tap again. Briggs, Ormondroyd. Baldwinson, the dummy runner. Ellis almost through a gap, but the gap was closed. Kyle Briggs waits now. Swung out left to Thackeray. Here's Spears. Thackeray again. Briggs. Channing just can't take the pass in. If he could have taken it in, he was a stroll over the line. So, round of applause from the appreciative Rovers fans behind the sticks. Came to nothing on that occasion. Going to be head and feet to the Bulldogs on their own 10.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of a break from tweeting at the moment because we haven't scored for a good 5 or 10 minutes, so that's quite good. But yeah, if Michael Channing could have taken that ball, you'd have fancied him going over, or certainly he'd have been able to get it out to Ashton Golding out on the right-hand side. As it is, Batley got another scrum here on their own 10-metre line. They're having to do it hard and bring it away.
So the Bulldogs then having to work out from their own 10-metre line. They're still in their own 20. The ball's come out now. They're up to the 30. That's a good drive in though. Keegan Hurst. Oh, I'm not so sure that wasn't. I'm not so sure there wasn't a forward pass there, but here's James Brown. Rovers have, what's impressed me as well, Rovers, Joanne, they've done a really good job on James Brown today. When Rovers were down here in the Challenge Cup, he caused Rovers so many problems. And here's Alex Brown. What a tackle from Ashton Golding. On the last, it's a turnover.
Yeah, Ashton Golding he'd dropped back for expecting the kick on the last. They went for a power play, did Batley. But Michael Channing's lost the ball now. He's asking the ref, appealing, saying it was ripped out. So Batley have a free play. They've kicked it through. The ball goes in touch. Not sure who played at it there to put it into touch. What the decision will be, whether it'll be brought. It's a scrum to Batley on the Featherstone 10-metre line. So Batley get a rare foray into the Rovers 10-metre. In fact, probably the first one of the half.
It is indeed the first one of the half for the Bulldogs. So Walker finds Aluja. Somebody's lost a boot. Walker again. Here's James Brown. Bulldogs 5 metres away. Walker runs straight at Luke Cooper. Brambani puts a kick in. Knocked back by Talapapa. That went backwards. The referee said that Rovers have knocked that ball on by Missy Talapapa. From where I was, I thought the ball had gone backwards, unless it was knocked forward by Talapapa into the Batley player and then went back, I don't know.
Well, it's over on that far side. The rest closer to the action and the touch judge than we are, and they've ruled that Talapapa did knock it forward. So Featherstone are going to have to defend this scrum. Getting a few strange looks from the Featherstone fans around me for saying that. So Batley are going to take the ball in now with Aluja. He's got his boot back on now, so he's taken it in about 8 metres away from that Featherstone Rovers line as the ball's played. And it's taken up there. And the referees penalise Featherstone for offside. Bit unlucky that, because actually Batley sold the dummy playing the ball there, causing Featherstone to creep forward over that goal line. So bit unlucky there for Featherstone Rovers, but that's the way that it goes.
James Brown then takes that first tackle. Walker swings it wide to Bram Barney. Tries to dance inside, but good defence from Rovers. It's picked up by Andy Ellis, says Jordan Baldwinston. So once again, that comes to nothing for the Bulldogs.
Do you know who this reminds me of, Ben? It reminds me of our performance against Halifax at Bradford, the way that Batley are playing today and the way that we're steamrolling as Tim Spears with a great run there. The way that steamrollering over Batley, it just reminds me of the game that we had at Blackpool where Halifax did exactly the same to us, what we're doing to Batley today, just bossing that game and not letting them even get into it at all. Although we've made a little bit of a mess up there with John Davis going in the centre of the field. Alex Brown did well to chase him down, and John Davis tried to offload and the ball went, and that's a penalty now to Batley. Just need to be careful here. We don't want to lose our discipline, don't want to get overexcited, giving Batley a little bit of possession, and they've got this penalty as the ball is put into touch by Pat Walker. Batley are going to take the tap about 25 metres out away from the Featherstone Rovers line, with Keegan Hurst driving it forward, and he's met by four Featherstone Rovers tacklers.
Hurst plays the ball swung in field. Bram Barney. Here's Walker. Takes that tackle himself, so takes himself out of the next play. Here's Brown. Dave Scott, but that's good defence from Rovers. Hardman's come out with that ball, so another mistake from the Bulldogs. It's going to be the first knock on. I didn't see which way, it's gone the way of Rovers.
Yeah, Ian Hardman came away with the ball, and it was playing advantage was the referee, and then Batley came up with the ball, and the referees deemed it was the first play, so it was a free play, first knock on. So Featherstone have got this head and feed on their own 10-metre line, and I think we do a try out with Ben. We haven't had one for a while.
I'm getting a bit disappointed, Joanne, what's going on? Briggs feeds that scrum. Here goes Steve Snitch. Oh, and here comes the rain. Spears. Briggs. 40-20 attempt. Is he going to go? Is he going to go? No. The ball at the very last minute bounced back in field. It was a great attempt by Kyle Briggs. But just at the last minute, the ball bounced back in field. Halifax are losing at Lee at the moment. Bradford currently winning comfortably against Whitehaven. Here are Batley over on that far side on halfway. Keegan Hurst. An untidy play of the ball. Here goes Alistair Leake. No, it's James Davis, sorry. Brown's going to put that ball in the air. Ian Hardman, safe as houses. You can give those to Ian Hardman all day, Joanne. He'll take every one of them.
It will. It was one of those towering kicks again, and there's been a few of those this afternoon. We've seen them put in, and they're swirling around in the wind, but Ian Hardman never took his eyes off it, caught it well, and went to ground with it. So Featherstone have got the ball. We haven't had it for quite a while, really, and as Andy Ellis is brought down, looks like we're going to get Anthony Mullally and Daryl Griffin back on the field. They're just making the way to warm up on the touchline.
Down comes the rain here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. Kyle Briggs puts his bomb in the air. This time it is taken by the Bulldogs. Tim Spears completes the tackle. We are going to see Daryl Griffin at least, and Anthony Mullally. Numbers in hand, ready to come back on. That's almost a good break, but well read by John Davies to complete that tackle. Tackle and a half it was. Keegan Hurst now. Oh, the ball is lost by the Bulldogs. So it is a knock on. An opportunity for Rovers to make this change. Interesting to see who comes off here. Jordan Baldwin still looks to be blowing quite heavily. I think he might be one of them. Nobody's coming off yet. They're just, I think we'll see the scrum and then I think we'll see the changes. Off comes Andy Ellis and off comes Luke Cooper. So Anthony Thackeray it is, who's in as in half-back. Davies now. Here's Steve Snitch.
What a stint Andy Ellis has put in. He's just come off and he's just said he's knackered. So I think he was ready for a breather. So yeah, just going to have a scrum put down. Batley going to get some possession here due to a Featherstone knock on over on that far side. But what I will say, great stint by Andy Ellis, but also by Luke Cooper. Hasn't he played well while he's been on the field? And it's good to see a young player up and coming like this at Featherstone Rovers.
It is indeed, and I don't envy you having to make a choice in about 10-15 minutes. Alistair Leake through the hands of Brown to Keegan Hurst now. Here's James Brown again, through the hands of Walker. Rovers' defence holds firm. They'll want that nil today. What a boost that'd be going into next week. As Brown flicks it inside to Adam Gledhill. What a boost that would be going into Halifax next week to nil Batley on their own ground. Here's Alistair Leake though. Rovers have held on. On that last tackle, it is a turnover, and they'll want that nil, Joanne.
Yeah, poor play by Batley there on the last, wasn't it? Trying to force going over, and what they didn't fail to see was that Featherstone actually had two players down in back play, with John Davis taking a knock and another Rovers player. This should be a penalty here. Wayne Retty all over the back of Missy Telapapa as he tries to play the ball. Just getting a little bit scrappy out there at the moment. Ball goes to Daryl Griffin, who takes it forward 30 metres away from the Rovers line. going down this slope at the mount. Anthony Mullally now takes the ball, goes another 10 metres. He's a good strong runner, is Anthony Mullally, isn't he?
He's a monster of a man as well as Anthony Mullally, size-wise. There's that kick from Thackeray. Too deep, is it? Or is it going to hold up? No, it has run dead, so it's going to be a restart on the 20. But just talk about Anthony Mullally. He's a monster of a man as well, isn't he?
He is. He's a big boy, definitely.
Here are the Bulldogs. Alex Brown. Here's Leake. So Bram Barney puts a kick over the top. Ian Hardman comes across. He'll let that one go. It's a 40-20 from Bram Barney. So Bram Barney kicks a 40-20. Rovers will be desperate to keep the Bulldogs to 0 after all the effort they've put in so far this afternoon. How much of a disappointment it would be now. Pat Walker. Here's Dave Scott, but good defence again. Michael Channing and Ashton Golding. Walker just picks that ball up, finds Brad Day. We've got some Icelandic chanting going on away to our right, some Monster Rovers fans. Here's Dave Scott. Nowhere to go for Dave Scott. Great defence from Rovers. All the momentum lost out to that attack there. Here's James Brown. But look at that defence. Orbendroid. Spears. And Griffin in that tackle. What a tackle by Tim Spears. Oh, he's been penalised. He's been penalised for a high tackle. That was never high in a million years. Here goes Alex Rowe now. And there's another one now. Rovers just need to keep the discipline here. James Brown's going to have a try. Alex Rose, the dummy runner. Here's Pat Walker now. Kicks early. And the Bulldogs are over. It's Chris Aluja. Rovers will be disappointed with that one. It was a clever early kick from Pat Walker. And Chris Aluja read it superbly. Able to get the ball down. So the Bulldogs are on the board. And it'll be Pat Walker to convert. It's Batley 4, Featherstone Rovers 34. And Joanne, whilst this kick's being lined up by Pat Walker, who's your Rovers team at TV man of the match this afternoon?
Can I give it to all the team? 17 players. Can I do a first and just give it to all the team? Because for me, I'm not, as Pat Walker gets that conversion from near the touchline, so that's Batley 6, Featherstone Rovers 34. To be honest, the whole team has been fantastic this afternoon. There's not been a bad player out there. There's not been a player that's not been on good form. If I was to choose one, it would have to be one of the halfbacks, even though I feel that the forwards set up that platform. Andy Ellis played well in that first half. He was taking quick play the balls and passing that ball out wide from that in dummy half. But there's not been a bad player. I think because of the points haul that he's got, I'll give it to Kyle Briggs and for the kicks that he's been putting in as well this afternoon. But equally, you could say that Anthony Thackeray's done that. So I'm just sitting on the fence totally here.
The kick-off is out on the full, so Joanne's put the clappers there on Kyle Briggs, give him man of the match, and then he kicks out on the full at the kick-off. So the Bulldogs putting a bit of pressure on late. So here are the Bulldogs then with another opportunity. Brambani, Walker. Here's Brad Day, just holds on to the ball. Scott. Alex Rowe. Offloads the ball, here's Walker now. Brown, pass back inside. Good defence from Rovers though. Bulldogs knocking on the door late. Brambani dabs one in. Great read from Talapapa. Superbly read from Talapapa. What's the referee going to say here? He's going to make us play the ball again. Here's Ian Hardman now. So Rovers just going through the motions now. Davis attacks in half back's going to have a scoot. It's a good scoot, makes fully 15 metres. Hardman now. Briggs, boot to ball, superb positioning though on this near side by Alex Brown, returns the ball well. Here are the Bulldogs then, 5 short to halfway. With Adam Gledhill now. Alistair Leake gets the Bulldogs up to the Rovers 40. Still got tackles in hand. Brown. That finds Alistair Leake, but swarming Rovers defence. Here's the last. So it's Brambani with a dink over the top. Easily picked up though by Thackeray. There was a late flop there. Here's Ashton Golding now. Rovers just going through the motions now. Ashton Golding almost away, but he manages to get the pass away to Davies. Thackeray, he puts boots to ball now. Is that a 40-20? It is, you know. What a kick from Anthony Thackeray. That is absolutely outstanding, Joanne.
Yeah, we were looking as though we were keeping quite deep in our own half there. Batley were doing a good defensive stint. And we were just playing sensibly, really. That's the end of the game there. Full time here at the Mount, and Ben's just going to give you a rundown of the scores, but what probably the performance of the season there by Featherstone Rovers.
Started off so well for Rovers as early as the 7th minute with a penalty for Kyle Briggs. Andy Bostock went over for a try just to the right of the uprights after 10 minutes, converted by Kyle Briggs, who then kicked a penalty right on half-time to make the score 10-0 at half-time. And Rovers, that was up the slope. Rovers were looking good for the money. Who'd have thought what would follow in the second half did? A try straight away almost from Kyle Briggs, converted himself before Hardman went over himself. Again converted by Briggs, followed by Ashton Golding. Then Michael Channing. And after a quarter of an hour, Rovers had gone from 10-0 up to 34-0 up. One final try for the Bulldogs did manage to get a try towards the end with Chris Aluja, which Pat Walker converted. You said it yourself, Joanne. The performance of the season by a long way.
Well, when we talked to John Sharp last week, we said it's going to be 3 cup finals left. We've got the first of those cup finals. Bring on Halifax, I say, next week now.
Outstanding performances across the teams. The forwards have laid that platform so well.
They have. That's what the difference was in that first half. We talked about Batley and how they got such a big pack. We were watching them warming up. They looked huge, and they've been playing so well all season. And you know, so we've done so well in that first half to those forwards to sort of overcome the Batley forwards and to steamroller them. Really, that's what we did. Our forwards just put them on the back foot all first half. And then that allows the halfbacks to capitalise, the hookers, the standoff, the scrum half, and certainly that's what they did.
They did indeed. Rovers are just leaving the field now to what can only be described as rapturous applause. But this victory, in terms of the top 4, it's a huge victory for Rovers. And it can only set them in a good frame of mind for what's another cup final next week at Halifax.
It is, and Halifax have gone down at Leigh today. We've all been shouting for Leigh today. They've gone down there by quite a big margin from what we can see. So we're on the uppers going into that game. Hopefully this will give us huge confidence. And to be fair as well, Ben, you could see the start of this last week against Workington. I know we let Workington come back into the end of that game, but as John Sharp said, that was because we'd had some enforced changes towards the end of that game through injury, and we had forwards playing out in the centres, and Workington did come back into that game. But you did see the beginnings of that half-back pairing and what they were capable of.
And today what they are capable of has really come to the fore. It is full time here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. Stay tuned if you're listening to the stream. There'll be an interview with John Sharp to follow shortly. But it has finished here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. Batley Bulldogs 6, Featherstone Rovers 34, and bring on Halifax.
Tim, what a performance today. You can't underestimate that, can you? Coming to the Mount and winning 34 points to 6.
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously I've played here for 5 years. I know just what a tough place it is, and to be fair, since I left the club, they've gone from strength to strength really. So I don't think I'd have to check the fixtures and that, but I don't think there's anybody come here and done the job we've done on them all year, to be honest. So yeah, really pleased.
And when you went in at half time and keeping them to 0 when they were going down that slope, how did you feel? How important was it to get that 10-0 advantage going in?
Yeah, it was important. In terms of tosses, I was a bit nervous about it, because it can have a fair old bearing on the game, can't it, going up and down the slope? And fortunately we won, and I was very keen to go up the slope. But it just 10 points to nothing. What I said to the boys before we went out was that 2 tries and we've lost, so you can't take anything for granted. I think the other thing as well with the slope is that just depending on how the teams are going, the team that's up the slope, they're in the ascendancy, the defence have got to retreat uphill, which is really quite difficult, so which Batley did to us occasionally in the second half. You can get a rolling if you're not careful. So game was far from won at half time, but it was a good foundation and half a job done. We just had to go out there and obviously execute the game plan we've done for the first 40 for the next 40, if that makes sense.
And in that first 40, Batley had quite a few sets of 6 on the Featherstone Rovers line, and we managed to keep them out, didn't we? And how important was that defence in sort of setting up that platform for the halfbacks of Briggs and Thackeray to have a good game today? Yeah,
I think obviously it's physics, isn't it, in terms of the slope. When you're playing up the hill at Batley, you're going to do a bit of defending on your own line, and I think the team that's probably most resolute on their own line generally go on to win the game, really. So I think the middle were outstanding. I thought they did a great job because they're a good bunch there. Middle's a big strong fellas, Keegan, Brownie, people like that. Good nines getting out on the back of that as well. So credit to the middle. I think they made it easy for the edges. And then obviously I thought, again, backing up from last week, I thought both the halfbacks had real strong games, particularly in second half. And in terms of game smarts, just knowing when to bomb them, when to put the ball out. Second half, thought kicking game was excellent. 40-20s as well, which is obviously, a big relief to forwards in middle, working hard to just, to get that double set is important. I thought, credit to the halfbacks, well done, but it was a team effort, wasn't it? They couldn't have done what they did if the middles hadn't done what they did. So pleased with the group all round, really. It was
a massive team effort, and we've got Halifax next week. We talked about it being almost like 3 cup finals left for Featherstone, isn't it? And Halifax have gone down quite heavily at Leigh today. So are you looking forward to that game next week at Halifax?
Yeah, I think the game at Leigh, I don't think it'll have a massive bearing on what we do next week. Obviously, teams are desperate, and it's very much like a cup final mentality, isn't it? Because there's no second chances. Never had an easy game at the Shea in my career, and I don't anticipate having one next week. I think obviously we're drawing a lot of positives from today, but at the same time, if we don't turn up and get the job done next week, then today's been for nothing, hasn't it? So obviously we'll enjoy ourselves, relax a bit tonight, but then Tuesday we'll come dust ourselves down. It needs to be an intense and good week's prep for what's going to be, I'd say, an even harder game next week.
Tim, thanks very much for speaking to us.
Anytime, thank you.
John Sharp, Batley 6, Featherstone Rovers 34. How good does that scoreline sound?
Sounds great, it really does. It's the scoreline's irrelevant, really. It was very much about cup tie football. I felt in my own mind it was like a quarter final. We won that quarter final. Now we're in a semi. We've done ever so well this year to get ourselves into a position where our season's still alive and we're looking at making the playoffs. We've had a raft of injuries. Our pivots have never played together all year. Basically, I think it's about 6 or 8 games have played together, and we can just see them starting to gel. So delighted with the win, really pleased with the win. Skills, tries, defensive efforts they were outstanding, weren't they? Probably the best performance this year.
And right from the off in that first half, you could tell that the team really meant business. That first set of 6, good set of 6, and the ball was drilled to the Batley 10 metre, and that set up the platform for the game. And from then on, Featherstone basically just steamrolled Batley, didn't they, in that first half?
Yeah, your rugby as well. I know Matty Wilder came over and said that could tell the attitude of the team in the first set and how they executed the game plan. And going in 10-0 up at half time, it was a real psychological boost for us, knowing the second half that we got some big blokes coming down the hill and gave us that opportunity and that enthusiasm. I think that we knew we'd done such a good job in that first half and only used 3 changes until I think Bostock came off on 38 minutes. He was just emptied, but really pleased with that first half. And the attitude of the players has been good, really good. I know there's a bit of adversity around the joint at the minute, but the boys have been really focused on the job and really fired up about doing well for one another.
And in that first half, Batley were coming down that hill. They had 2 or 3 sets of 6 a few times on the Featherstone Rovers line, and we just managed to defend stoically and keep them out, basically, didn't we? And to, so importantly, keep that 0 scoreline.
Yeah, I've been banging the drum all year about how good our defence is, and I think sometimes people just want to look at other things and not on the positives. Some people are naturally negative, and that's their prerogative. But we've got the best defence in the competition, and we showed it today, didn't we? For I think 4 or 5 sets on our own line in that first half, we refused to give in and battled away for I think about 70 minutes before we conceded a try against a really good Batley team. So, credit to the D. It's been great all year, and it was absolutely outstanding again today.
It's a really blustery wind day today at Batley, isn't it? And there were a lot of towering kicks put in that Dave Scott and the Batley defence were having difficulty to defend. Was that a game plan before the game to do those kinds of kicks?
I think you never know what the conditions are going to be like. I watched Dave Scott in practice and he caught every eyeball, so it wasn't very much. We had our own difficulties, didn't we, with regards to Missy trying to take a few as well. But the conditions were, like you say, really blustery, and we reacted to what we saw with a kick that happened in that first half, and that first kick it gave us, well, we could smell blood in the water, couldn't we? And we had to go for it, and we had to be ruthless with it. And I thought we kicked well. I thought that Briggs was great, and I thought Thackeray was too. So our kicking game was superb today.
And the only blot perhaps on today's performance was that injury to Jamie Cordin. Have you got any news on how he is at the moment?
Yeah, it looked bad, didn't it? It looked really serious, and I know the physio took time to assess him and then get him off the field, but he's pulled up fine. Big relief. Should be fit for this week.
That's good news. And we talked last week about it being 3 cup finals left, and you just talked about it being our quarter final today. So got 2 left now, away at Halifax next week, and it's about keeping that mentality up that we've shown today, isn't it?
It's about maintaining that focus, that mentality. It's about keeping the momentum. Got a group of players who are really confident in what they're doing and enjoy working hard for each other. So that's not a bad recipe for success, but we're coming up against a really well coached team that have got some real good players in their ranks as well, and they put us to the sword last time and embarrassed us. So we've got some things to assess and look at with regards to what they did to us last time, and hopefully we can do that and deal with that and probably throw some things at them as well. But we know it's going to be a tough game. Semi-finals are. I'm pleased that everybody's fit and healthy, and we're going to go there with some confidence and give it a real good shot.
Thanks, John.